everybody. So, as all of you know, NABARD is a bank for agriculture and rural development. We are doing human service for the past more than 30 years. I hope this is a very good occasion for all of us to have interface, and whatever you want to ask, you are free to ask anything. We are here to clarify all your doubts. Hope this meet will make not only us what we are doing, and also make the public to aware what is NABARD is for. Thank you very much. Once again, I welcome all of you. We will start our meet right now. Thank you.
My dear friends from all the press media, my name is I took over charge as CGM of NABARD Kerala in the month of May 2012. Immediately I met the Chief Minister, and many of you have reported also, and amid a package of assistance in Kerala, which was about 5,320 crores for the last year. I am very glad that we have far exceeded what we intended to deploy in Kerala. We have deployed 6,238.34 crores last year. Notwithstanding the reduced performance of the government sector and also the cooperative sector due to various reasons. I will come back to that later in detail. But there has been a very good support from the banker side, from the NGO sector, and various service societies which are working for the development of the people. At the same time, NABARD as a development agency, we have provided suggestion to the government after studying what is going on in the cooperative sector, government sector, and the department side, including the RIDF sectors. We have given detailed kind of recommendations and suggestion for the government. As a professional agency, we are supposed to do the advocacy role to the government to sensitize them about where they can improve. We have given a various point of time. We have met the Cooperation Minister, we used to meet the Agriculture Minister, Finance Minister, Chief Minister, and through various meetings with the secretaries level, we have given our suggestions on various points, and I am very proud to say that the government of Kerala has been responding very positively in their own way. It may not be exactly what we suggest, but in their own way because of other compulsions and considerations. But nevertheless, they have been very positive and responding to our various suggestions. And as NABARD Kerala, we are proud of Kerala state also. For the year 2013-14, that is for the current year, we are stepping up our assistance to 7,005 crores in the state. And predominantly, about 32% of this is about 32% above what we have planned to do last year, 5,320 crores. This year, from there to 7,005 crores is about 32% increase in our outlay. I hope with the cooperation of all of you, we will be able to achieve this. I call this press meet primarily because, notwithstanding tremendous amount of efforts put up by NABARD for the development of the state, there has been lots of misinformation in the press and other media. I am duty bound to put the things in proper perspective and clarify various doubts of the people of the Kerala through the media. That's the reason that I called the press meet today so that we are able to educate our masses through the media in a proper way. Because many of the, I don't know what is the interest they have got, but they have always been critical of NABARD policies, etc. Sometimes wrong information is reaching to the people. We want to avoid that. In our RIDF sector, we have commitment of 800 crores this year against 600 crores last year. And you know, we have sanctioned earlier projects also. Some of the projects will be implemented this year, and this 800 crores will be sanctioned for this year. Put together, the state government can take refinance or finance from NABARD to the extent of 1,000 crores. Precisely 996 crores they can draw. But there are limitations of the state government borrowing because of the central government permissions are not available as of now. It is available only for 501 crores. We have told the government, state government, to approach the central government to take permission for availing more amount for the Kerala. On the other hand, there is a lot of pressures to sanction more projects here. So we have been telling that even if we sanction more projects, the state government cannot use it because there is a limitation on the borrowing. So with all these 1,000 crores the state government can draw, we are open. I do not know how much they will draw. Last year they have drawn only 407 crore. But in spite of our allocation of 525 crores last year for disbursement, this year we are trying to do it. In that regard, we have studied the state government approach to the RIDF schemes. Then we have come out with some suggestions. State government has responded. Now, one of the processes, the tendering process, is a very long process. People are finding it difficult. Bidders are finding it difficult to either to deposit EMD and get back EMD. It has been taking a lot of time. Now, Kerala is the first government to implement e-tendering process, including refund. If you are not a successful bidder, then once the bidding is allocated, is finalized, immediately your money comes back to your account. It is automatic. No other state government has done it. So therefore, what happens? The bidders, once they get back the money, they can bid for other projects if they are not successful in this project. So that speeds up. And second is that it is a kind of a faceless bidding process. People do not know who is bidding. So there is no cartel or anything. So therefore, more number of bidders will come forward to bid for the works to be executed for the RIDF. This is one suggestion we made. At the national level, NIC has developed the software, but many government has operated at different modules. But this government has gone in for full throttle on that. Above 25 crores, above 25 lakhs, all the procurements will be taking place through the e-tendering process. State government has already issued the EO on the suspect. Hope that this will improve the implementation of RIDF. And another issue that we have come across is there is a lot of delay in getting the technical sanctions. After the sanction of NABARD, they go and survey it and prepare estimates and get it sanctioned from their respective technical agencies. It was taking a lot of time, as much as 1 year. So therefore, now we have stipulated that the department should prepare the technical estimate first before coming to NABARD. It's not after the money is given. And another problem is, if money is given first, suppose I sanction 50 crores for a project, they go and survey and come out with 75 crore estimate. So there is a lot of variation between what we sanction and what the project cost ultimately. That is one of the reasons for delays. So if they have surveyed properly and properly they have adopted the costs, then it is easy for them to implement it without waiting for it. So this is another measure which the state government has agreed. And third measure is the land acquisition wherever some projects are involved. So the land acquisition also involves a lot of time. So if the government is serious, we told them that you first acquire the land and come to the law. Then it is easier for us to implement. Otherwise it takes years for getting the land, and before that cost escalation, and therefore they are not able to implement these RIDF projects. If with these changes, I hope this year government will be in a position to drop 1,000 crores under RIDF. Then in addition to this year specifically 5,000 crores have been allocated at the all India level in the union budget without state level allocations. That is for warehousing, cold storage, cold chain development, etc. This will be on first come first service basis. We have written a letter to the state government, to the chief minister, to call for an interministerial meeting to finalize a strategy how best we can make use of it. They are yet to come out with a strategy how much they will take it. And from the NABARD side, we will do our best to push up things so that Kerala is able to utilize this. And also, under PMG's Prime Minister's Gram Sadak Yojana, that is for rural road development, again it is 5,000 crores allocated, and there is no specific allocation for this, but 75% of this will be coming from the central government, 20% from the NABARD and 5% from the state government. And we have asked the state government to prepare a master plan for rural road development so that we are able to take advantage of the central scheme that is available. And from the banking side, last year I have been talking, some of you must have been there in the state level bankers committee meeting. One of my concern was that predominantly the bank finance goes for short-term agriculture. And I talked about the bubble in the agriculture finance, where the total value of output in agriculture is much less than the value of credit which is going, which gives a suspicious kind of suspicion that whether the crop loan is going to the agriculture or elsewhere. So NABARD and RBI have conducted a study, the study report is yet to come. But we have focused on increasing the investment in agriculture. You have seen last almost 15 years, entire country, mostly in Kerala, the investment in agriculture is going down and down. That's a very serious issue, because unless there is an investment, agriculture production cannot be sustainable. If you are doing loan only for crop loan, if there is a drought or anything, people will be immediately losing the crop. They will not have the fallback arrangement. Plus, there are host of investment that has to take place. For example, marketing infrastructure. We have not done serious thinking about marketing development. The warehousing separate scheme was given. The state government and state agencies here have not taken advantage of it. 113 crores which we have sanctioned, they have not availed it. But still, there is a lot of scope for warehousing development, cold storage, vegetable cultivation, and investment in agriculture through high-tech farming. Because Kerala is a high-cost structure, the social structure, because the per capita minimum wage itself is very high. Unless the farmers go for high-tech farming, it is very difficult for them to make economy of their small holdings. Therefore, we have to focus on high-tech application in the farming sector. And also, the new generation will not go for the traditional farming practices, which they feel that it is it's not so much desirable for them. But if they are going for high-tech, they are more interested. I have met several youth from Wayanad, Palakkad and other districts. They are all interested going for a high-tech farming so that they get good money and also they get good investment made in greenhouse or precision farming, etc. There's a lot of subsidy schemes are available for this purpose. So we have approached the various agencies to develop investment credit flow in the Kerala. The first is the JLG approach that we have taken. There are more than 50,000 JLGs which are formed by Kudumbashree and other various NGOs, but they are not getting the bank loan adequately from the banks. So we understand and we studied that one of the problem is nobody is sure of the quality of the JLGs, whether they repay or don't repay, all these things. So we have developed a rating mechanism for each of these JLG, and we have asked these agencies to rate it and then sponsor the loan application to the banks. So this year, we are aiming at linking about 23,000 joint liability groups with the bank, of which the Kudumbashree has come forward to link about 13,000 groups. Joint liability groups. JLG, joint liability groups, which a group of people come together and borrow for their agriculture purposes. And many of the groups are formed, but they are not getting their finance from the bank. So we have taken up that seriously and studied why they are not getting it. And then one of the reasons is the quality of the group. So we have already suggested and bankers have accepted our rating model. The rating will be done by the implementing agency, either NGO or Kudumbashree or any other agencies. And this will be sponsored to the bank, and they will check these ratings, and then if the rating they get 70%, they will immediately give the loans. Okay. This is the idea. This year we are aiming at to reach 23,000 JLGs. You can see stupendous increase from 5,700 JLGs so far linked, and this year alone we are aiming at 23,000 JLGs. Tremendous credit flow is expected to happen. You will be also happy that Canara Bank being the leading bank here, they have already stated their intention to finance 18,000 groups on their own. The 10,000 groups will be adopted by other banks, but Canara Bank alone is going to finance about 13,000 groups under this scheme. We have further increased the bank linkage from the SNGs, neighborhood groups or self-help groups. It's a tremendous movement in all southern states, mostly in Kerala. But when we see how many bank groups are again getting bank linkage, there is a lot of gap. There are about more than 2 lakh groups in the state are not getting the bank credit. So again, we have taken up as a challenge, and this year we are aiming at linking at least 1.5 lakh group in the state. Again, similar method is followed. Kudumbashree will link almost 1.2 lakh group to the banking system. We have put involved a methodology for doing this, and there is a district level committees will review this, and the bankers will also review this. 1.3 lakh groups have to be linked this year. And as I told you, high-tech farming is one of the priorities of the government, but during the last year not much progress could be made on this. Then we have taken an initiative to formulate the model schemes and call the banks and also the state government department of horticulture, that is state horticulture mission director. We had a discussion and come out with a kind of a banking plan to aim 2 lakh ton of vegetable production in the state. 60% of the vegetable is imported. So we have to reach, last year when I talked that I have to see Kerala going self-sufficient in vegetable production, and that is possible only through high-tech farming. So we are going to have about 2 lakh production from 10,000 hectares of land, and the banking plan will be prepared for this, and the banks are very keen. In fact, many banks are approaching, sir, please give us scheme to finance. And unfortunately, we are not having so many schemes. So as an advocacy role and development role, NABARD has taken up this challenge, and we are going to provide schemes, model schemes to the banks, and in order to get this high-tech farming going. About 50,000 farmers will get from this. We expect that 50,000 units will be established with the help of other NGOs which are going to support us in identifying the farmers. It will be primarily again led by the SNG groups of or energy groups of Kudumbashree, because we have to lead these Kudumbashree groups from just borrowing for consumption purpose to income generating purposes. So therefore, we have already told the Kudumbashree Executive Director to identify at least 50,000 individuals who can take this, even if they have a small 25 cents of land, 10 cents of land, they can still go for high-tech farming. And it's a very planned manner we are going to do this year. I hope that this will benefit 50,000 farmers and will be increasing 2 lakh tons of vegetables. Apart from that, NABARD also initiated various collaborative projects. One of the projects which has been successfully collaborated now, which is going for implementation this year, is the collaboration with Coconut Development Board. They have more than 1,500 coconut producer societies, but they are not formally having any access to bank credit, and their credit is very small. But more so, last year coconut prices have gone down. The processing facilities in the state is very limited. So therefore, at least if they dry and sell it, it will get better price than raw coconuts, because nobody is buying. Last year it went up to 1 rupee per coconut. So we are expecting about 100 federations will be formed and will be registered as societies by the coconut development societies. These 100 federations will be started with a coconut dryer, will be given with subsidized rates, and it will be financed by both the Gramin banks, North and South Maratha Gramin banks. We have come forward to finance 100 federations of Coconut Development Board federations. So it will be spearheaded by the Coconut Development Board. They are also going to give some subsidy on this. Then another is animal husbandry sector. You know, milk and meat is highest consumption in Kerala, but supply is very limited. Again, we are looking to other states for import. In spite of having good climate, good irrigation facility, and good soil water conditions, still we are unable to produce sufficient milk in the state. So we are trying to give a thrust to that by formation of a banking plan in collaboration with the government department, animal husbandry sector. We will be financing more than 1 lakh animal, the dairy animals to do this. There are structural issues on this, but that will be tackled. Now, prima facie government has agreed to our suggestion that this should be the priority area, and banking plan will be prepared and monitored, and how the bank is going to finance. And also, the one package that we have implemented last year is the weavers package. Some of you must have already reported, in which 124 primary societies have been held and 23 crores have been disbursed. This is Government of India scheme. NABARD only has implemented. Apart from that, we are also looking into actively engaging the stakeholders. Who is going to help our farmers as a matter for NABARD? If anybody is going to help our farmers, we are willing to collaborate with them. Either it is a society, it is a government body, it is a non-government body, charitable societies. Anybody is welcome to NABARD, and we can see how we can work together, either in a small area or in a state. We are willing to collaborate with our stakeholders, and for that we are also willing to help capacity development of these agencies. Now, you know, this year we are going to have the training programs for all the directors of newly elected cooperative, directors of the DC banks, district cooperative banks. You know, last year February election was conducted, and the new cooperative management has taken over, and they need also capacity building in a proper professional manner. So we are going to train all of them, and the 3 batches will be taken outside the state also to visit various other well-run cooperative banks. And apart from that, NGOs, community development program, we are also going to help. Some of the NGOs which we need professionalism in this will be done. And we have also helping the primary cooperative banks which are going to set up their own processing center, marketing center, information center, etc. So we will also help them. We will provide finance in training them. We will organize more training for them, NGOs training. And we have opened more than 14 farmers, the centers, counseling centers, which is providing advices to the farmers and disseminating technology information. And we are going to provide extensive training for them also. Under financial inclusion, big awareness program will be conducted by all the banks in the state. And the state bankers committee has been advised to chart out a plan through various banks, and that will be funded by NABARD to create awareness about the financial inclusion. And finally, the strengthening of cooperatives. You must have seen this is one of the hot subjects nowadays. There are systems. I want to give you a brief background about this, because this is one of the areas where a lot of misinformation is, campaign is going on. Globally, in 2008, you must have seen there has been a meltdown of several banks abroad. The main reason they discovered is there is a nexus between the banks and the businesses. While the businesses have been advancing and reaped a lot of benefit, the banks suffered. In the process, the depositors suffered. There has been 3 independent committees appointed in the West. One is in the US, one in the UK, and another is in the European Union. All the 3 uniformly said the banking should be separated from the businesses. This is very clear recommendations from all of them. followed by those recommendations, the G20 countries, including India, participated and agreed that the banking should be insulated because banking money is coming from every individual's hard-earned money. And those money cannot be used for speculative purposes of the businesses or their profit. So therefore, the banks should be, a traditional banking should be safeguarded. Now they are in the process of segregating the investment banks and other the derivative speculative aspects of the banking from the regular banking activities. They are separating it. Different laws are coming in, and we have been doing it right from the beginning. Our banks are not allowed to invest and speculate. Therefore, that is why we could not. Our no bank failed in India because we have never been allowing it. But all the more now, the banking and non-banking has to be separate. One of the other important reasons why the foreign banks have failed is there was no kind of centralized clearing system for them. So there were a lot of, technically they have been doing, but there are one-to-one taking place and then nobody was controlling those things. Fortunately for us, we have right from the beginning, led by Reserve Bank, we had a central clearing system. Now, after the electronic platform has been established, like Visa in foreign countries, we have also established our national payment clearing system. What is it? NPCA, Clearing Corporation, Payment Corporation of India. So the National Payment Corporation of India will be the kind like Visa. They will be able to coordinate all these transactions in the country. The technology platform will be provided by IDRBT, that is of RBI. There is a separate technology institution that has been established to see that financial transactions across the network are safe, secure and stable. And I would like to emphasize that the payment system is restricted only to the banks, because the banks are controlled by RBI. The bank payment system should not be operated by any other people who are not being regulated, because once any particular transaction goes bad in that, the whole system will get across the country and even abroad will get jammed as far as India is concerned. So safety of this network system is very important. Therefore, RBI does not allow non-banking and non-financial institutions to be a member of the settlement system RBI. Okay, this is what we have to understand. A separation of banking and non-banking has to be separated because of the interest of the depositors. And third development that is happening is that government is now thinking of transferring the benefits and entitlements directly to the individual's account, whether it is LPG subsidy or petrol subsidy, etc. It will be directly transferred to our bank account. For that, the individuals, you and me, should have our account in a bank which is part of the network. Otherwise, the government of India or the state government cannot send their money to my account directly. So therefore, we have to see from the broader context the need for keeping the networking banking settlement system or financial settlement system safe and secure from your point of view, our point of view, from the financial point of view, and the need for segregating the banking from the other speculative investments. So therefore, with this in mind, the cooperative reforms were started, and cooperative banks were very weak. Vaidyanathan committee was established to strengthen them. It is not just giving money and forgetting it. That has been made very clear in 2008 itself, when Vaidyanathan package was announced by the central government. They said we will give enormous money to the cleaning of the cooperative banking system and strengthening them. It is not just for one-time affair. Further, these banks have to be mainstreamed. We should not allow the cooperative banks to go back in the same old loss-making way. So therefore, it was the starting point. It was made very clear that that was the starting point where the cooperative reform has to start from there and then strengthen it further and join the mainstream bank. So therefore, the banks have been recapitalized, cleansed, etc. Unfortunately, Kerala has not accepted that package. I think only state which has not accepted and suffering. The other states, some of the small states where cooperative system is not there. Other one is the Himachal Pradesh, where the cooperatives are already strong. And here we have not accepted this, and then we are having a lot of setback on account of that. So having said that, now Reserve Bank in their regulation, they cannot make exception to any state. I want to make this point very clear. The other day I met the minister also, you take 1,000 morchas, have 1,000 dharmas, but Reserve Bank is not going to relax any now for Kerala only. It is better we all discuss how to cope with this, better find a solution for it, rather than beating the system. So therefore, the cooperative strengthening program has been started. The first and foremost is 4% capital adequacy have to be met. Kindly understand, some of you are non-bankers who do not have this. For every 100 rupees lent, the bank should have a share capital of 4 rupees. This is the share capital now in a layman's language. So we cannot have 1,000 crores of loan, depositors' money deployed without having adequate capital. So the capital base has to be strengthened. So initially to start with 4%, then by end of June 2030, and by end of March 2014 it will go to 7%, and by 2015 March it will be going to 9%. So this is the roadmap for cooperatives. Commercial banks are already on 12% now. Many of them are, all of them are complying with that. Unless we comply with these regulatory requirements, we will not be allowed to participate in the payment system, which is required also. So unless you also don't like to lose your money or you get your transaction lost in the network because of the wrong players in the network. So therefore, this is one of the preconditions. The share capital base has to be strengthened, and capital adequacy norm is one of the non-bargainable norms that has been put in by RBI. Please understand, RBI is the regulator, not NABARD. I was told, many people come here and they look at me. I said, I am not the regulator, please. I am only supporting how you can cope with that. If you want any problem in the regulatory, go to RBI and complain to them or tell them anything. But many people are not aware, NABARD is not a regulator, it is only a supervisor. Regulatory norms are described by RBI to cooperatives. So therefore, many of the banks were not having the 4% norm. This was discussed at various forums. I wrote a letter to Chief Minister in May 2012, as soon as I took over, that this 4% norm is coming. It is on the way. Please let us work on it and then strengthen the cooperatives before it is actually falling. February 2013, RBI has come out with a norm that by June everybody should have 4% capital adequacy. Unfortunately, earlier there was no elected board, there was no good dynamic mobilizing of capital. Now they are in the process of mobilizing capital, notwithstanding whichever is the cooperative societies or anything. Everybody is duty bound to see their cooperative structure is sustained and be able to comply with the regulatory requirement. I am telling this because some of the facts are saying why we should be contribute and all those things. If you consider that cooperatives as a structure, then everybody has to contribute for the stability of the structure. So there is no exception to this. So this is one of the very important points that I wanted to convey to the rest of the people outside, that 4% capital adequacy is a must for any bank to participate in the payment system. Otherwise, this thing will be out. They will be out from the payment system. If they are out from the payment system, it is not only bank is out, the entire clientele will not have any access to any other bank. Now we are going for issuance of a card, credit card, loan card, any card you say, that should be operated across the ATMs, not one bank. So unless the bank is strong enough to become a member, the clients will not be able to have access to other banks, other ATMs you cannot operate. If you want to operate a bank, you have to go to the bank only, or they use their ATM. You cannot use any other ATMs. So that is a must. And in this regard, there is a big challenge for the primary cooperative banks which are taking deposits. Now you must have seen the 97th amendment has been made. I will give you why the 97th amendment. Some of you should understand why it is. In the under Vaidyanathan package, more than 27,000 crores have been given to the cooperatives, to various governments for strengthening. This money came from different international financing agencies including World Bank and Asian Development Bank. They have lent under the hope that there will be reform of cooperatives, cooperatives will be given freedom. Because one of the conditions of the package, Vaidyanathan package, was that the state government should amend the act and give freedom to the cooperatives. Many state governments have amended the act and took the money. After taking the money, they have gone back and re-amended the cooperatives. Government of India felt they are being cheated by the state governments by amending the act and taking money and again re-amending it. It is not prudent, or it is not professionally, or it is not ethical. So something need to be done. And not only that, India as a country, we lost our face with the borrower from the lenders. It is again cheating them also, because they have lent it on the pretext that you are going to reform your cooperatives and you are going back on that. So it is very serious erosion in the image of our country. So therefore Parliament thought it fit that we should put an end to this. Cooperatives should be given freedom on a broad basis, even though it is a state subject, but there should be some minimal freedom should be given. Therefore they, only with the amendment in the constitution, it would be possible to force the state governments not to go back to the earlier system by amending the cooperative. This was almost compelled on the central government to bring in the constitutional amendment because of the breach in the kind of a trust of those. So therefore, that has been amended. Consequently, our Cooperative Societies Act also has been amended. Hopefully, if all the efforts are being made in the cooperative system, it will go. On the NABARD part, one of the important things is if you want to be payments, part of the payment system, you should have the serious, your accounts and everything should be under core banking solutions. Okay, earlier it was a manual banking. So from manual banking, you have to go onto the electronic platform. And banks have been paying crores of amount to have that CBS platform. So NABARD took an initiative to have a countrywide solution for it. Okay, so therefore we have called all the technical experts in the country and held discussions with them and negotiated and then come out with a solution for ASP model. ASP model is Application Service Provider model, under which no bank will own the software. Please understand, no bank will own the software, and the software will be owned by a central company, and the people, the banks will pay for the usage. They can use the software and pay for the usage, which is much more cheaper than owning the software. Once you own the software, again updating of the software, etc. is going to be a problem. So now all the software related problems, banks fully forget it, focus on the development, and this will be done centrally by an agency which has been identified by NABARD, and two agencies have been identified, TCS and Wipro, and Wipro is the agency for Kerala. Okay, now how many banks have died? 8 plus KCB. Okay, 8 DCC banks and KACB have joined in the NABARD initiated process, and others are having their own softwares. We will see how. Even yesterday KACB was telling that they have been paying almost 6 crore a year for the software usage. If they switch over to NABARD platform, it will be hardly about 1 crore maximum. So they gain a lot, and hopefully by June end, this is a deadline for all of them to come under CBS platform. After CBS, they have to take membership from the NPCA, that is National Payment Corporation of India, and also they have to take membership for the RTGS from RBI. Unless these are done, they will not be enrolled as the member of the payment system. So these 3 other processes should be completed by September 30th, 2013. Okay. So this is the roadmap for cooperatives to come into CBS and become a part of the central payment system. Otherwise, the clients, both the borrowers and also the depositors will suffer. So this is the initial remarks that I wanted to make, and some of the developments I have shared. And if you have any questions on this, we'll sit and then we'll clarify, and any data or anything you have made, my commission, they will also supplement me in this. Thank you very much. and kindly take my message to the masses. We depend on you. We will have more of this kind of an interaction later on. I am planning to have at least one in a quarter. Is it okay for you? One in a quarter. It is misinformation cannot be tackled by writing letters. Only you can solve that. Thank you very much. Yeah, please. The capital that is required now, share capital, who is going to give? State government says that they do not have money. The members is refusing to pay.
That will improve the cooperatives are very strong in Kerala.
Sorry, that is impression. I will tell you, out of 30, out of how many, less than
Around 6,000 crores, that is what they say.
say that is. The issue is that the scale is high. It does not mean you are doing it wrong. There are two different things. Definitely the scale of financing by the cooperatives in Kerala is very high. But it does not mean that we are on the strong footing. Number one. Number two is that here the primaries are very strong. PCBs, primary cooperative banks are very strong. They have something around, how much is the deposit? 36,000 crores is the deposit base of the primaries. But the upper tiers are very weak. The cooperative banks, DC banks and KSCBs are weak. And then participate in the payment system. That is where the dichotomy problem comes.
So what do you think will happen to agricultural lending if the PCBs are not able to convert the ACC decentralized card to RuPay card? So will there be a stop with
Sir, that's why I said that we had told the government to come, let us sit together, find a way out. Okay. If you resisted that we will not comply, then it's a different issue. It's RBI that has to take a call on that. But NABARD's job is helping the institution to comply with the regulatory requirement. Therefore, we call them, we discuss, and we have given a lot of what is options before us. See, one option is that any case eventually both the borrowers and the depositors have to move to the payment system linked. That is one thing. As of now, there is no technological solution available. We can be part of the central system. At the same time, PACs are not part of the central system. Some technology solution have to be found on this. In the Europe and other things, how they are trying to say, theoretically they are saying we will find a firewall, a fire ring, which will separate the banking and the non-banking. Another account with the bank, any bank, for at least if they get LPG subsidy, for example, how do I get my LPG subsidy? So what I do is, even if I am a primary bank member, I can continue to be a member, I will open another account to get that money. That's how government wants. Okay, that is one part. And if the borrower members are receiving subsidy, then the subsidized loan credit wherever it is that has to be moved. The alternatively, Prakash committee recommended it become a BC, that is bank and correspondent. Okay, you do the banking operations on behalf of the central cooperative banks, BC banks. Okay, that exactly now, as of now, I don't want to give my own suggestion on this. It is a collective decision that entire cooperative, whosoever is representing cooperative, we will all sit together and find a solution for it. I always tell the government and other people in the cooperatives, please let us look for solution. We cannot beat it. You cannot say RBI, you cannot do this. It's not possible.
I got two questions. One is Kerala the only state finding itself facing this particular problem? And number two, what is the exact number of PCPs which don't have the minimum 4% CRAP?
The first is that the Kerala is finding difficult because the ADF figure is that out of 42,000 crores, something around 38,000 crores are deposits at the PCB level is belonging to Kerala, meaning that 95% of the country's primary deposits were located in Kerala. That's one peculiar situation that we are in. Therefore, the PACs outside the Kerala state are not much affected. Okay, they were not doing much banking anyway. They were only lenders. Okay, and that also they borrow money from the DC bank and then lend it. Their own money is very limited outside the state, if you look at it. Only Kerala and Tamil Nadu had some reasonable, decent deposit base at the and even Tamil Nadu also, the banks were mobilizing deposits on behalf of the central cooperative banks. So for them also there is no issue. The peculiar issue is only for the state. Now, we are expecting some of our people are saying that RBI should not implement and all those things. I am sure there are compulsions on RBI to establish a payment system properly. You know it.
But compared to other states, do you think that this is an exceptional system which should be emulated all over?
No, I don't think so. First of all, are you concerned with the payment system or not? Tell me. No. First it starts from there. A country should have a sound payment system where people have confidence that if I send a money electronically to you, 500 rupees, it reaches you. If something has happened in this system, somebody picked this, somebody happens anything, the whole system will get jammed because all the banks are in the same network. ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, State Cooperative Bank, District Cooperative Bank, all these banks are in the same network. And RBI has to ensure every participant in the network is sound and strong so that every transaction is put through. Otherwise, you will have a problem. And we have 1,12,000 packs which are not regulated. We do not know what is the status of them. And half of them are not audited for the last 3 years. How can we allow them to be part of the network? From the Safety Act, from the country's Safety Act, it is very difficult for me to conceive a pack is being formed part of a payment system. So if that is agreed, you agree for that point. Payment system has to be safe and secure for every citizen of this country. Okay, that is one thing. Then the peculiarity comes. Peculiarity is there. Then how to deal with this? That we will find a solution. We will have to find a solution. I feel every problem has a solution. We will find a solution.
We just give the numbers.
Sir?
Give the numbers of the ECCs which are not having adequate capital.
6 banks are less than 4%.
ECCs.
Total.
Yeah.
Country-wise.
No, in Kerala.
In Kerala.
At least the percentage, it is the percentage of those banks which don't have adequate capital.
As of 2012, 8 are less than 4%. 2 had a negative actually. 2 plus 6. 2 had a negative capital adequacy. That is entire deposit is, entire old money is eroded. I will not give the names for an important reason. But the 6 were having less than 4. On the balance, 8 were having less than 7. Nobody was above 7. Whereas in other states, because of Vajinathan, this has been very high. Even as much as 38%, even in the state of UP. There are banks with 38% capital adequacy outside the Kerala. But here the capital. One of the important reasons I tell you, this also I have collected the information and sent to the state government as a suggestion. What is this capital adequacy? Where the capital should come from? Traditionally, if you see historically, the cooperatives should have a sort of what we call share linkage. Every borrower should have a 10% share in the cooperative. That was the beginning of it. All over the country it was same. And then 10 to 15%, other farmers 15%, small farmers 10%. That was the beginning of our country. Thereafter what happened? It has went down. In this Kerala especially, it went down to from 10%, it went to 5% of some things, 2002 I think. 5. Then from there it went to 3. From there it went to 1. 1% capital adequacy or capital linkage is from 2008. The government has formulated such kind of a policy. Because of this lowering of the capital linkage, there is nobody to do the capital. Everybody wants to take loan and they say that they are the owners of the cooperatives, but they don't want to give capital. It is against the cooperative principle itself, number one. And when I look at across the country, the nearest is Gujarat. Gujarat has 2.5% capital linkage only for a crop loan purpose. The other purposes it is 10% and 15%. All other states are minimum of 5%, maximum of 15% depending on the purposes they have mentioned. One is the share capital linkage in our state is very low, and it is not. I generally from the layman angle, how can I ask 99 rupees loan you give me? I have 1 rupee. That's not. It is not. I don't know. For me, it's not easy. The second one is the large number of primary banks are not borrowing. They are, as I told you, they have good deposit base. So they are not borrowing. So even if you link the borrowings with the capital, they will not give the capital because they don't have borrowing. Third aspect, non-borrowing societies, you know how much they are having? They have the control over the bank, but just by taking a share capital of 250 rupees. If you have 250 rupees, you can control the bank. That's the kind of situation here. So this need to be looked into. Do we give the authority to control a bank by just taking 250 rupees? And some of the societies I studied, they are having 2,700 members. Their share capital in the cooperative bank is 250 rupees, not even 1 rupee per head. And then it is hyped that no, it is very high, people cannot pay. I don't think if anybody says that I cannot pay 1 rupee towards my cooperative bank strengthening program, I don't think that is a good spirit in cooperative development. Cooperative development has to come from, the spirit has to come from the members primarily, and then only from outside. So therefore, they have to think about all these things, then how to increase the capital and all those things. Okay. Third one is internal generation of the capital. That is through profits. Though it is not for profit, but it should make profit. Here, the interest rate is highly regulated in Kerala. Most banks do not meet their even the interest burden. The interest paid on deposit is more than interest collected on loans. How a bank will survive? Then let me not argue for any of the other things. The bank has to survive first. It has to pay the depositors' interest. Then it has to meet the salary and other obligations. Then you have to make statutory provisions as per the RBI regulations, NPA provisions. Then you should have some leftovers to pay dividend. Okay. If you don't pay dividend, who will give you a share? Why should I give a share capital without a dividend? So a capacity to pay a dividend is very much limited in the cooperative banks. So we have to capacitate the banks in such a way that they are able to make a decent dividend payment. For this, the regulation, interest rate regulation has to be looked into. Am I right? So the interest receipt must be more than interest paid. As a principle, you will not do like any other business like this.
I have one question. Now this agricultural organizations Kerala are indicating one thing. You know that in one hand the farmers suicide are happening in some district by now. Here they are indicating that here we have around 20,000 crores deposit in Kerala agricultural field. This was happened only through the loans from these primary agricultural cooperative banks. So if you are going to forward them, then what will be the next effect?
One thing I tell you, with all this bandwagon that we are supporting for primary agriculture cooperative societies, do you have any guess about how much they have lent to agriculture? This is supposed to be agriculture cooperative society, right? How much they are lending? Out of this 38,000 crores of loans which they have given, many of them, the big societies have less than 3%. Less than 3% they have agriculture lending. We still dare to call them agriculture societies. And average in the state, it is 13%. All banks put together, their agriculture lending is 13%. And many of the banks, which are very well run with the CBS and big banks, their exposure to agriculture is only 3%. So even if they have taken out of agriculture, that is not a big problem. Yet penetration of banks are very high. Every other state we have bank branches in Kerala. There is no problem with that. But the thing is, this is another thing that every planner, everybody in the public, they have to think, the so-called primary agriculture societies, are they doing agriculture? This is one of the Bakshi committee recommendations, that they should build at least 60% to agriculture. Otherwise, don't call them as agriculture bank. And they get all the concessions of agriculture, but they don't do anything. It's only lip service.
But in your calculation, only 3%. They are giving only
3% for some of the big societies. Average 13%. Yeah, RCS, government knows it. RCS data is the register of cooperative society. He has the data how much agricultural lending is taking place through the banks. Therefore, whom are we supporting and for what? Are we saying that farmers are suffering because these people are not lending to this? They are lending to cooperative agriculture. I don't know. I am not very sure that. And secondly, the penetration of other banking systems. Sometimes what happens, if there is no alternative to the farmer, they are forced to continue for whatever reasons. And here, every other state you will see the banking system. And they also have now under financial inclusion, banking correspondent, etc. There is a person which is staying with the mobile banking facilities. Okay, so up to 10,000 rupees he can be from his cash at home. There are certain provisions have been created already under financial inclusion. Penetration is very high in Kerala. And that is one thing. The second is, if you ask them, their interest rate, they are trying to compete with the money lenders and the Muthoot financing and other people. They are not competing with the banks. They are competing with non-banks. So that is why RBI said you apply for license if you want to be bank. Why indulging 2%, 3%? You give that 3% loan to your PC bank, get out of agriculture, become a full-fledged bank for yourself. Become an urban bank. This is their prescription. I do not know how many of you will agree for that. Should we call these banks as agriculture banks? Any other? Please. Any question on RIDF? So we are.
earlier we explained that in Kerala, lot of loans, agricultural loans are being favored to other activities.
But still I have not confirmed. A study will have to confirm that. That's why we have gone for a
You
study.
just explained that in the
Yeah.
previous meeting, there was a discussion that, okay, on the date said it is agricultural loan, but the solar they will get to other loans. So you have a detailed inquiry.
I told you no. The study is already been commissioned and I am waiting for the study report to tell me that. Okay? Please, any of you, not only now, even future also, you want to talk to me or get some clarification, you are always welcome. Kindly see that when you write something, dedicate something, please about NABARD, please consult us. We will put it in the correct perspective. Any evidence you want, we will provide it. But let us not go into the negative garbage that will not help us anything.
On behalf of NABARD, I thank all the best persons, media persons who are here. Thanks a lot.
All of you are requested to join us for a cup of tea outside the auditorium.
Yeah.